my friends, I'm Rich Larson, and I'm the IRC Tire Guy. And as you can see, we are in Page, Arizona for a preview of the first round of the US Hard Enduro Series. I'm here with my buddy, James Flynn. Now, if you guys remember, James ripped me up in a game of horse, which you can check out right here. We'll put that in. You guys got to watch. This dude rips. He's a young kid. He's coming up. He's got the grit. He hammers down. He repeats and repeats and repeats and tries to get all the lines, no dabs. He's a beast, and he's an IRC athlete. Now, I wanted to come out here because James lives in Arizona. Of course, he comes out and he rides in Page area. He knows the terrain. He knows how to put the proper techniques down, and he's got a good understanding of what's to come for this first round. So I've got to ask you, how you feeling? And first off, what tire are you going to run for the first round?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, and I'm really excited for this race coming up. It's been a really good off season. Really switching up the program this year, and really working out the weak points of what was going on last year. And I'll be running a JX8 all year, and along with the VX30 front.
Nice. So you think the JX8 works pretty good out here on this sandstone type terrain?
For sure. So I've actually done a lot of different testing with different tires up here. I've ran the VE33S, the IX09, and the JX8. And throughout all three of those tires, I'm definitely liking the JX8 here more. I was thinking that the VE33S would do really well out here because of the sand. I thought those big knobs might hook up a little bit better, and they might, but I don't want to give that up on the slippery sandstone that has been broken down and has sand on it. So we're sticking with the JX8.
Okay, so first off, it shows your training. I mean, I can tell you're ripping it up. You look even better from the last time that we rode together. I mean, like I said, you got the tenacity. You rip it up. You hammer down. It shows that you've been putting in a lot of work. Now, what I want to know is the course coming up here. Now, we're going to get a little more insight from your dad, and we're going to explain all that in a second here, because your dad is a big part of this first round here in Page.
Of course.
But from a rider's standpoint, what's the differences from last year's course to this year's course? What are we going to see? And yeah, break it down for us.
Yeah, so just riding in this area compared to the area where the last course was at, I'm seeing a lot more technical features and not so much risk and reward. You actually, have to really think and break down and think where your tires are, just like a traditional hard enduro almost. There's definitely still some risky features to be done out here, but I'm thinking that it's going to be a little bit less risky, more technical for sure.
I like that.
I do think it'll be harder too. So.
For me, I don't like to risk it anymore. I like to goof around. I like to talk on camera and make people think that I'm way better at riding than I actually am. So I like to back down the risk a little bit, and so that makes me feel good. Now, for a newer rider coming out here, what would you say? How should they prepare? What should they do to kind of get ready for what is in store on this course?
I definitely think training for it, if you don't have access to terrain like this, I think even just going and pushing your limits, looking at, maybe go to your local riding spot and hit features you haven't hit before. Just pretty much just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Even if you have to go to the motocross track and start hitting jumps just to get used to, being a little bit puckered out.
Getting into that mindset. Dude,
yeah,
that is
sure.
such a good, that's such a solid point, because I came today and I feel very uncomfortable, right? I ride a lot, but out here it's like you've got to change your style and get used to being in that zone of okay, I need to trust that my bike's going to hold traction. I need to trust that it's going to help me get through these gnarly sections. So next week, what we're going to do is break down some specific techniques for this style of riding. James and I are going to go out. We are going to find some technical stuff and break it down for you guys so you have a little bit of an understanding of what needs to be done when you're riding out here. This will be before the race. It's going to help you guys out. The race is on March 26th. But first, what I want to do is bring Jim in. Jim is James's dad, and he's got some serious insight on this first round's course. And yeah, I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So check it out. All right, guys, so I am here with Jim Flynn. This is James Flynn's dad, and he is the promoter of this race. So he's gonna have a lot of insights into exactly what the differences are from last year to this year. So first, I gotta ask, we're in a bit different of a location, so let's start there.
Okay, we're still in Page City limits, but due to some construction at the course registration area where we were last year, I was forced to move it south of the south part of town, and so begrudgingly put in an entirely new 14-mile course. I was planning on just making some enhancements to the course we did last year, but actually have an entirely new course. So it's actually kind of exciting. I think the only thing better than one good course is two good courses, and
Yeah.
so it opens up some possibilities in the future, maybe for some road crossings and 30-mile loops and things like that. So, but for this year, we're looking at about a 14-mile loop. This course is going to be quite a bit different than last year. You jump right into the technical aspects of it right from the get-go. Last year, the first half of the course, there was a lot of desert and washes and things like that kind of got us out towards the lake.
Right.
This year, we're actually bombing right into a mesa and getting right down to work. So this is a much more technical course than what we had last year. The obstacles, although maybe not as death-defying as in high exposures last year, they're going to provide a challenge. And so we're excited about it. I think it's going to really throw people for a loop. I think they were expecting one thing, and when they get out here, it's going to be something a little bit different. I mean, obviously the Navajo sandstone is unchanged, but this is definitely a different area. We have rather than one big mesa, we have three smaller mesas that we're going to work. And so it's exciting.
One thing you mentioned was alternate lines. Now, kind of break that down for us and explain compared to last year.
Yeah, so because we're getting right down to business quicker, what I'm trying to do is eliminate some of the bottlenecks that earlier on in the race when people are more bunched together.
Yeah.
And so I've got some men pro lines that I'm putting together. There's I think we're going to go with about 5 of them. Awesome. That are really, the amplitude is definitely higher than the standard course. And so I think it's going to challenge the top guys, and I think it's going to be better for the amateurs as well, because they can, they're not going to be stuck on one feature for an hour and a half,
Well,
so.
and that's a huge thing is I think this is a killer race for anybody that's close and willing to travel to Page. This is a killer race to come. I mean, we've got literally right there. That's Horseshoe. What is it called?
Horseshoe Bend. Yeah.
Right in the background.
World famous.
It's beautiful. Yeah. World's famous. I mean, you get the amazing scenery. I mean, you're going on this rad, gnarly, hard enduro loop, and I mean, it really is a one-of-a-kind race. I think it's going to be killer for the amateurs. It's going to be killer for the pros. And dude, I am super pumped for the first round. I will be there. Come say what's up. Come say what's up to James. He's going to show some serious skills. I'm sure you guys have already noticed his unreal skills in the video. But dude, Jim, thank you so much for your passion. This dude is so into hard enduro, and I want to see more people coming and trying, testing their limits, and having some fun and enjoying the race.
And there's one other thing I'd like to add. I've spent a lot of time putting together a spectator route, because I think hard enduro you know, it needs more spectators out on the course, not just everyone in the infield.
Sure.
And so I've put together an OHV route where you can bring your own four-wheel drive, your own OHV, your own dirt bike.
Awesome.
We're also going to have Razor Rentals, and then we have Bob Reed from Up Lake Adventure that's going to be shuttling people around in his Can-Am Mavericks.
Beautiful.
And it's going to be great.
So it's going to be killer for the
yeah.
riders, killer for the pros,
Yeah.
killer for the spectators.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's come support the first round of the US Hard Enduro Series. I am pumped about this whole thing. I want to see this sport grow. And yeah, man, honestly, I want to see us Americans competing with the Europeans. So
Yeah.
thank you for all your help.
Absolutely.
And yeah, hey, keep shredding.